After 3 days of lectures in Newport, a group of 5 people continued to Guanshan for another 3-day lecture. Finally, we went to Flower Mountain Temple in Yuri, which was a temple built by the Pure Land School during Japanese occupation. Under the arrangement of the temple's Grand Protector and deacons, the lectures were held every night at a Taoist temple, which is the busiest place in the center of the town and where the audience is most likely to gather. The next day at noon, a layman from a foreign province was unexpectedly waiting for me in the living room, saying that he wanted to talk about Buddha Dharma and exchange views. That layman first introduced his name and said that he was a convert to a great master in Taipei and was now specializing in Chan Buddhism. After listening to his talk for 20 minutes like a stream of water, I knew his intention, and it was not easy to deal with. At that time, I prayed to Guanxi and Bodhisattva to open up my wisdom, so that I could comfortably cope with the situation and answer the questions. The virtuous man saw that I replied to all the questions with faltering Mandarin. He asked again with that nervous face, "Last night, I heard you talk about Pure Land School and how the consciousness is reborn in the Western Pure Land after death. What does consciousness look like? Can you show me?" I immediately replied to him, "What do the words you just said look like? Can you show me?" At that moment, the living room was silent, and 2 people were speechless with 4 eyes looking at each other. Then I answered him, "To be clear, whenever you dream at night, that would be consciousness." He paused for a moment, without a word, he then turned around and left. I was afraid that the man would become angry because of embarrassment and come back for trouble, so I informed the abbot. "If that virtuous man comes to see me again, just say, she is preparing to give a lecture now, sorry, okay?" Surprisingly, the next night, he was already sitting in the front row with a dozen guy friends, listening sincerely to the talk. On the morning of the 3rd day, he came and said, "Please speak for a few more days. I admired your wisdom yesterday, so I went to spread the word and persuaded a dozen of my colleagues to come and listen to your talk. There will be more audience tonight." Even now I remember the situation at that time. I still feel a bit scared. Fortunately, if it wasn't for Buddha's blessing, how could the ever clumsy me be able to contest wisdom with this virtuous man of Chan school?